Yad yan niruktam vachasa nirupitam Dhyakshiviva manasotayasya Ma bho swarupam gunarupam hi tatta Savai gunapaya visarga lakshanaha Anything expressed a metal vibration, anything ascertained a metal intelligence, anything experienced with the metal sense or concocted with the metal mind is but an effect of the modes of nature and therefore has nothing to do with the real nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord is beyond the creation of this metal world, for He is the source of the metal qualities and creation. As a causes, He exists before the creation, after the creation. I wish to offer my respectful obeisances unto Him. This is a beautiful shloka from Daksha. A very important point comes. How do we understand this? There is one philosopher sometimes, somebody met. Devotees used to generally take the roles of different philosophies and bring it to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada, the Acharya, used to tell what is wrong, what is correct. In fact, once they wrote a book, Dialectic Spiritualism. They brought practically all the philosophers of the Western world, starting from Sigmund Freud, Aristotle, and everybody, Socrates. And Prabhupada agreed where it was nice, but he pointed out a lot of flaws in these philosophies. In fact, the book was like very revolutionary. When the book came out, there was a lot of trouble in that country. Because that is their foundation and it is a false foundation. We can know by the result. The foundation is false. Everything can be known by the result. A society has totally degraded, we can know the foundation is gone. In India, foundation is there, very solid foundation, but nobody knows the foundation. In America, there is no foundation, and therefore, knows or not knows, there is no use. It's not going to help much. So that's why Prabhupada was very sad when many times Prabhupada was asked, what is the status of your country? Because they were so happy. They're so happy. They say, after meeting you, after understanding the Vedic philosophy, we're getting so much hope now in life. Because otherwise, what is the hope? I'm going to die and everything is going to destroy one day. What's the hope? The life is very sad actually. Correct? But unless you come to spiritual platform, there is no hope. There is no meaning to life. True? Anyway, so many devotees wrote letter to Prabhupada after coming to Krishna consciousness, there is so much hope. So they asked, what was the condition in India? It was a very nice condition. People are because they had never met, most of them had never met any Indian before. The thought is like, great, because that is the time, 60s, the time America opened on the immigration for the Indians. Correct? Before that, very few people are allowed. So people, they don't met much people. They thought India, many people, the picture of India was through him, they thought, like Acharya, there will be millions of Acharyas in India. Prabhupada said, no, the picture is very different. They have given up their own culture. That's why sometimes cannot imagine the abhorring activities being done. Abhorring activities. Maybe as degraded or even more degraded, the kind of activities that happen. The way the people behave. Where in Mathura, imagine to be the birthplace of Krishna. People are occupying some place and police came, they killed. And some 25 people died. Can't imagine the kind of violence people have become. So violent. Police was for a shock. People are ready with huge amount of arms. It's shocking the kind of level. Or other things you read every day. Torture and insult of women in public. Every day. Somebody boarded a train and there was no place. They sat on the lap of the... Somebody was, some professor or somebody. He objected. What are you doing? And he shouted and threw him out of the compartment. And that man came in the next station and 50 people beat him almost to death. Can you imagine this? Happened here, West Bengal. Some Nishtha train. And then, no police, nothing. And then finally, can't imagine the people are so abhorring. Because they have given up their own culture. Dharmena vihina pashubi samana. You give up dharma, you are animal, that's all. The only thing that separates us from an animal is we agree to follow some dharma. An animal works by instincts. Just like sometimes you tell somebody, actually to a large extent, the scientists are also responsible for this. Because they do not agree there is anything more than the body. When you tell somebody that yes, you should try, so you take that person to the court who behaved in such a nasty way, okay? First, caused inconvenience to woman, and then he is incorrected, he beat the very person who did nothing wrong. Nothing wrong he did actually. True? He didn't do anything wrong, the professor. He was rather a gentleman. True? So then you ask, and he brought to the court, what will he say? I'm very sorry, my hormones were out of control. He can get away with that. And this so-called scientist will give him certificate. Such crazy it is actually. Whole system, the human body is considered nothing but bunch of chemicals and acting on hormones. Okay. Today I am angry because my hormones are different. I am very peaceful because my hormones are different. Then you cannot take anybody to the court. True? My hormones are different. No, you are denying your, just like we follow brahmacharya, they say you are denying your basic tendency. What is this nonsense actually? This is where people will progress. If they are andha yathanda yupani mana, if they are being led by such blind leaders, that is the situation. Openly, so-called leaders, scientists, politicians, and so many other leaders, openly atheistic. And even if they know of dharma something, it's all nonsense. They don't know what is religion also. No idea. Thus I've been explaining so many times, dharmam tu shakshat bhagavat pranitam. Dharma means orders of God. Dharma doesn't mean way of living. A dog also has a way of living. A pig also has a way of living. That is not dharma, sir. True? Dharma means the orders of God. When you obey that, so when a person agrees to obey the orders of God, he is called dvija, second birth. Because the normal birth even animal takes. And he runs by its hormones. But human being has an opportunity. Therefore Prabhupada is to say, prove you are a human being by controlling your senses. Then we know you are a human being. Okay? Now coming to the shloka says something very interesting. It says God is beyond your better perception. And Prabhupada writes a beautiful line there. It says, if you understand somehow Krishna is transcendental, you become eternal. Because Daksha has given a vivid description. He said, whatever I can imagine by my mind, whatever I can think by my intelligence, whatever we can get about you in the dictionaries, you're beyond that. Now there is a very interesting kind of... Somebody I was telling, a devotee used to bring to Prabhupada some discussion. They'll just take up some philosophy and discuss it. Prabhupada used to very nicely elaborate, explain. So he was taking role of some philosophies. And he said, God is beyond any description, just like Daksha is saying. So why we talk about God? Correct? It has been said, Daksha, whatever you can imagine. No, we cannot talk by our own imagination. We can just repeat the words of those who have seen God. That is Guru Parampara. In a Guru Parampara, that Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada gives a tentative member. They're all Paramahamsas. That's why so many are not mentioned. We cannot have 5,000 years 32 people. There are so many people. Not everybody is a Paramahamsa. They have seen God. Acharya means there is no theory for him. Everything is a perception. You understand? We should not mix up regular gurus with the acharyas. Acharyas have a very exalted position. What is the position? No more theory. They see. So we therefore just like in Bhagavatam also, the list is given of Mahajanas. The Mahajanas are not ordinary people. They have seen God. They know God. Correct? Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, Kumara, Kapilo, Muno. Then Prahlada, Janako, Bhishmo, Balivaya, Sakivayam. They are very important people, these 12 people. Why? They know God. They have seen God. Dharma Satattvam Nihitam Guhayam. The conclusion of the religion is in the heart of a pure devotee. You have to hear from him. Okay? Or who strictly follow. Then you can say, why you are speaking? You are not speaking. I am following. I am repeating. So we cannot, therefore Guru Parampara is very important. Please try to understand this. If you want to see God, in fact for that matter so many things. Take a simple example. Now you are not seeing what is going. Now I'll take a better example. Suppose, yesterday also I took that example. Suppose you want to see, as a doctor I say, that bacteria has caused infection. So if you say, doctor please prove it, I say you have to cooperate with me, then I can prove it. That is fine or not? Then only I can prove it to you because you have to cooperate. Cooperate means you have to understand what is bacteria first. You have to understand what is the process of detection. You have to understand how it causes the infection. And then I will show you how the lab test worked. And therefore how this medicine will work. You have to cooperate with me. If you want to understand a proof, you have to cooperate with the person. Suppose Einstein were to come, or say another Nobel laureate was to come to your college. He will write some symbol, put, hence proof. You say, hence proof? You don't understand anything. What you will ask him? Can you explain? Okay? In fact, most of the teachers, they can't even understand the proofs. Forget the students today. They actually are not serious to know the subject. The education system is becoming far square, far cube. I don't know how much to say. Okay. So, but if you suppose he goes, then what he will do? Very keenly he will start. And he will say, do you understand this now? What is sigma? What is all the symbols? He'll start explaining. What is the meaning? Correct? And then you understand this means that. No, I don't know that. Then explain something. It may take few days. After that you say, you understand? Yeah. Why did you understand? Because you cooperated with them. Otherwise you cannot understand. Similarly you say, show me God. Very good. Cooperate. But now the one thing is very interesting. In science we're dealing with some dead energy as a source. Correct? They only can reach to some energy, that's all. But unfortunately they do not understand in existence, apart from the energy, is something called consciousness, which they have a vague idea. In science today, there is a very, very vague idea about consciousness. Correct? Bhagavad Gita begins with study of consciousness. Just like here it is said very nicely that Krishna existed before even your dictionary came. So you cannot limit himself to the dictionary. It's like anything you want to know. क्या करते हैं? Dictionary में देख लो. या Google में देख लो. करते नहीं कोई भी चीज़ dictionary. Google is nothing but a dictionary. ठीक है? Dictionary में देख लो. So you get some information. Oh, it is. So God, what is God? Oh, wait a minute. Open dictionary. In that also joke happened. Somebody came to Prabhupada and said, I am God. So Prabhupada used dictionary to defeat him. So bring the dictionary. Prabhupada read what is written. Acharya is just not scared of anything. Dictionary written, Supreme Being. So Prabhupada, are you the Supreme Being? Then Prabhupada later talks about the conversation. The rascal could not answer. He is the Supreme Being. So God means Supreme Being. You can have a hint, but you cannot have a total description in a dictionary. Why? Because God existed before your dictionary came. So similarly, many scientists come and say, prove what you're telling in the Vedas. Sir, Vedas existed millions of years before your so-called science came. This is a 100, 150-year-old science. What are you talking? If people accepted Vedas without your science. We don't need science to accept the Vedas. Vedas have their own way of understanding and verification. We don't need this lohars to understand the science. Science is nothing but lohars, technologists. Previously, in our outside village, the lohar used to be there. Today, they are all big technocrats and the leaders of the society. Kalava Shudra Sambhava. The Kalyuga, which is the age of the Shudra, they are the kings. Correct? Otherwise, they have status as a lohar. Hota na lohar? Kitna status is there? So, puja karte ho kya? But today, unfortunately, they are worshipped. So, our thing is very interesting, is that as science is approaching a dead matter, we are approaching a transcendental personality. Our process is transcendental. You have to cooperate with us, but the process is transcendental. Somebody may say, can you prove God? I can prove, but not according to your lohar science. Because I told you in the science itself, they are limited. ऐसा होता है ना जैसे एक मैं पाइप लगा लूँ and pipe से देखो तो how much I am limited? Can I see the 360 degrees? Suppose to see, you give me a pipe, then I can see only that hole, no? Can I see the whole perspective? आजकल होता है ना 360 degree view, you can record from a camera and you can upload also. So are you giving 360 degrees view? तो pipe से देख रहे हो. Science is nothing but seeing with the pipe. Because they have said we will study only those things which come inside an equation. Such fools. So you cannot, by the very definition, they will never understand consciousness, and they are not able to understand consciousness. They have to give up this foolish assumptions. All the truth is such that it will come inside equation. Why the truth has to come inside equation? Why, sir? Who told you to make such a childish assumption? Very childish. It has helped them to a certain extent for lohar work, for bending iron and all. This had helped. It will not help when you want to study higher things. Now I can prove to you God is there, but the elements of proof you have to realize first. Correct? Suppose I prove to you, I put sine theta, cos theta. You say, I don't know what is sine theta. How can I explain to you then? Something. Suppose you say, please prove something in geometry. And I start sine square theta, cos square theta. Say, I don't know what is sine theta, cos. Then how can I explain to you? Then I have to explain to you. So therefore, the elements of the proof have to be understood first. And the process is transcendental. It is not a material process. Because you are approaching a personality. What kind of personality? A transcendental autocrat. You are approaching supreme law. A God cannot be understood by your mathematical experiment, by equation, and he refuses to be controlled and exploited. He is a transcendental person. You cannot force him to appear. So now if you want to understand the transcendental personality of Godhead, you have to take a process given by him. You have to understand this point also. I gave this example. You want to meet the Prime Minister of India, you have to meet him his way. He has a process. Correct? He can set whatever process he wants. Okay, you get a letter from Chief Minister, then you get a recommendation from the Chief Minister, my secretary, then I'll meet him. He may create whatever process he wants. You have to meet him that way. You cannot meet him your way. You sit down here in Bangalore, you say, hey, Prime Minister, please appear. Otherwise, I will declare within 5 minutes you don't exist. Correct? Can you go to the court and say, please petition and appear here, otherwise I conclude he doesn't exist. What sort of nonsense is this? So therefore, people have made their courts of their own, that tiny mind. If God doesn't appear before me, are you qualified, sir? First thing, God is not your servant to appear when you want. Number two, what we discussed yesterday, even if he comes, you cannot recognize him. You have no qualification to see him. So there is the God is the transcendental personality. So you have to cooperate. You have to follow. Purva, we discussed in the last Sunday class. You have to follow the great acharyas in the history. Then you can understand the personality of God. Okay? So therefore, this transcendental process is the process of Krishna consciousness. There is a few shlokas Prabhupada is given in the purport to understand this. Atava Shri Krishna Namadi. Nothing beginning from the name. Any personality begins with the name. Name, what are the four aspects of a personality? Just like Pankaj says, sir, I want to meet you. And I have not seen him. What do I say? I know the name. I have not seen him. The next thing, correct? Somebody calls, sir, somebody is coming to meet you. His name is Pankaj. I have not seen him. The next when he comes, I see his form. Correct? Then I see his body. Correct? Form. Then paraphernalia. Oh, he's having in a hand one kada. He's having that kind of a pant. Then next you see the paraphernalia. Then that kind of mobile. That is what we see first. That is the status symbol nowadays. Previously, the joke is status symbol used to be house. So people used to spend crores in house because they'll invite people to house. But now people don't invite anybody to house. The same Western culture, privacy. Previously, any home you can walk in, Atiti Devo Bhav. That culture is over now. In America, you cannot walk into anybody's house. Trespassers can be shot dead. You cannot walk in. That is very dangerous actually. The board, trespassers can be shot dead. Nothing you can do. How did you go in without an appointment? You cannot go with somebody for a lunch without an appointment. You have to take, and they're 1 month, 2 months before you get an appointment to have lunch with somebody. Even a friend, I'm not talking about girls and boys, even friend. You cannot just walk in. You cannot just say, we'll go for a lunch. No, it's all fixed. Very, very mechanical and very, very dry, the relationships. Very, very dry. Here we just walk in. I remember previously when we used to go to our hometown, if you stay in the hotel, it used to be crime. All relatives will be angry like anything. You have to stay with them. Today, even in India, you're not supposed to stay in relatives' house when you go to any town. Correct? Are you supposed to? No, no. Don't disturb their privacy. You have to stay in a hotel. Correct? Privacy, why? People are into drinking, smoking. They don't want everybody to see. That's a natural reaction. The more person seeks privacy, therefore, devotee's life is transparent. What privacy? Correct? No, transparent. True or not? The whole life is transparent. So many professionals nowadays give us some privacy. But a great man, his life is open and transparent. What privacy? There is nothing which he is keeping in his mind which he is not speaking. Mind is also transparent. Correct? Whole life is pure and transparent. That is the Vedic culture. So coming back, where we were? Why did he come to this area?
Perspective. One's full perspective.
Yes. So the four perspectives are there. So name, form, paraphernalia, pastimes. So God has all the four. And the Vedic literature, I'm repeating this again, is the only place where all the four are revealed. Name is given, and not only the names, ordinary external names of the Lord, He is great or He is merciful. Personal names which are taken by the most intimate devotees. Just like you have the name Pankaj, but your mother may not be calling you Pankaj, may call you something else. Correct? It's like Sridhara. I went to his house, they're calling Sridhara. Shara. Some name they have, little they change. Correct? And that is more sweeter. Sometimes they'll another name. Oh, bachpan se, Guddu, something name, Guddi. I have many times girls will call Guddi. Some small name that the only parents take privilege to call or grandparents take. True or not? That name is even more sweeter. So, Krishna is a name, Mukhya. Why do we are after a Krishna name? Because of the Mukhya. It is a name uttered by the most intimate devotees. The dearest name to the Lord. Radharani utters a name. Mother Yashoda utters a name. Akashiti iti Krishnaha. It attracts the everybody's attention. Krishna by his wonderful qualities attracts the attention of all the devotees. Therefore he is called Krishna. Then his form, Shyama Sundara, so beautiful. Now what is his form? Who has seen? Have people imagined? No! It is revealed in the scripture. What is scripture? Words of the authorities. The authorities who have seen the Lord personally, eye to eye, have revealed. This kind of revelation was not in any other part of the world. Therefore, they don't know. Here, the great sages, by their sincere practice, could see the Lord face to face. Therefore, his description is there. And based on the description, we make the deities and we worship the deities. You got it? It is not imaginary. But what happens when you carry the material conception to understand the Lord, you do a mistake. Because in material world, the form is pain. It is yatana sharira. It gives you only pain. Old age, disease, death, terrible pain it gives you. Correct? अभी मालूम नहीं है क्योंकि भूल जाते हैं. हॉस्पिटल में जाओ देखो कैसे लोग चिल्ला रहे हैं. It's a yatana sharira. Actually, we look at the body, I told you the joke, with a mirror, with a great happiness. Because we think this body is my source of my pleasure. It's not a fact. It's reverse actually. Switch off the fan. Giving sound. Okay. It's reverse actually. Why it is reverse? Actually, this body, when you see in the mirror, you should be scared. Because it's the prisoner's dress. Nobody should be proud of the prisoner's dress. You should be proud. जेल में वो कैदी का ड्रेस देते फिर ऐसे देखे ऐसा पागल है क्या कैदी का ड्रेस देखो तो शर्म आनी चाहिए. So when we see the body, you should be shocked. Oh, material body I got. Huh? There's a prisoner's dress. Spiritual body is not like this. Srila Prabhupada ki. Srimad Bhagavatam ki.